In this video, I'll be sharing with you a tutorial on how to make this simple underbust Milkmaid Basque dress with gathers. So if this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. And this dress is from Sosa Earrings on Instagram. To start drafting, you need to get the full measurement of your dress. That is the total length of your dress, and then you're going to minus your half length, which is your shoulder to waist line from your pattern. So for this dress, my own dress is about 36 inches. Now I'll be minusing 17 inches, which is my shoulder to waist from it. So now we'll draft the upper part, which is shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waistline. Now for this front part of this dress, it has an additional basque in front. So the additional basque is only at the front part of this dress. So for my basque, I'm using an addition of 4 inches because the basque is not so deep. So at the upper part of this pattern, I'm going to mark my shoulder divided by 2. My shoulder is 14 inches divided by 2. I have 7. I'll mark. On that point, I'll come down by 1 inch. Now, that is for the shoulder slope. Since we are not marking out the neckline, I'll go ahead to extend this all the way to the upper part of this pattern. So after I'm done marking, what I'm going to do is to go ahead to find my chest line. And to get your chest line is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So mine is 7 inches. I made a mark at that point, and I'll go ahead to place my ruler to draw a straight line. Now, after I'm done marking, I'm going to mark what I have at the shoulder at this point. And I'll place the straight side of my ruler and I will connect. Now, what I'm going to do is to divide what I have here into 2. This is the chest line, and then come in by ½ inch. On the chest line, I'm going to go ahead to divide my bust circumference divided by 4. Now, I'm going to connect from this ½ inch to the other upper part. Now, from the ½ inch I have at the midpoint of the armhole, I'll connect it to the chest line. So the next step is to mark your dart. I'll start by marking my nipple to nipple divided by 2. Go ahead to measure your nipple to nipple and divide it by 2. Now I'm going to mark this all the way to the basque length. After marking this, I'm going to place my ruler and I'm going to draw a straight line starting from the bust to the under bust, from the waist down to the basque length. Now for my darts, I'll be using a basic dart intake of ½ inch on both sides for my darts. And I'll also mark that at the waist, then go ahead to mark that at the basque length. Now after I'm done marking this, I'm just going to go ahead to place my ruler and I'll draw a straight line connecting my darts. Now I'll also go ahead to connect the other side of my pattern also. Now I'm going to go ahead to connect this all the way up and also connect my dart. So I was supposed to come down by 1 inch from the bust line before connecting. I went ahead to reconnect, and after I'm done connecting, we'll start inserting our body measurements. But first, I'll go ahead and I'll outline this dart to make it more visible for you to see. So now let's insert our measurement. I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and I'll add 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance. You can use any sewing allowance of your choice. The under bust, I'll mark my under bust circumference divided by 4. Then go ahead to measure this dart intake I have here. Then replace or add my sewing allowance. My under bust circumference is 28 inches divided by 4. I have 7. Which is the same with my waistline, and I marked my waist circumference divided by 4. Then I'll go ahead to measure the dart intake of 1 inch, replace it, then add a sewing allowance of 1.5 inches. Please, this sewing allowance is not a standard. You can use 2 inches or more. I don't just like having so much allowance at the side of my dress, especially when the dress looks like a ready-to-wear dress. So now I'll go ahead to connect from the bust to the under bust and connect at this side. Now after I'm done connecting, I'll go ahead to blend this in and I will connect to the lower part. So after I'm done connecting here, I'm just going to go ahead to blend out my darts, and I will come in with my ruler and I'll connect it all the way to the other side. Please make sure you blend in your dart so that if you open it up, it will be matching your pattern. And if you notice, I went in by the waistline by my sewing allowance. This is so that the waistline at the back and at the front will match. So this is what I have here now, and the next step I'm going to take is to mark where I want my dress to start. I'm using 2 inches, or you can measure from your shoulder to get that point. So I'm using 2 inches after my chest line, and I'll go ahead to place a ruler and draw a straight line. Please go ahead to measure what is okay for you. Now at the armhole, I'll come up by ½ inch. This is because I don't want my armhole area to be too revealing, because this dress is more like a backless dress. Now I'll go ahead to connect this way to that ½ inch, and after that I'm going to underline the under bust. Now from this side, I will mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half. If you're a plus size, please go ahead to use your nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus 1. And I'll place my curve through, and I'm going to connect this all the way to the upper part of my pattern. Now after I'm done connecting, I'm just going to go ahead to outline my pattern and outline the upper part before we are going to go ahead to slash and spread the cup area of this pattern. So before slashing and spreading, I'll measure what I have here. So I have roughly 8 inches, so I'll just use 2 inches, and the last part will be smaller. So I'm just going to go ahead to place my ruler, and I'm going to draw a straight line on those marks that I made earlier. Now I'll go ahead to label it, because we are going to go ahead to place it on another pattern paper all together, right? So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now I'm going to get another pattern paper, and we are going to cut this off, and we are going to use a slash and spread method to achieve this cup area of this dress. So at this point, if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please kindly hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, leave your comment at the comment section, and if you also have any question, please go ahead to leave it at the comment section. So now after I'm done cutting this out for the dart at the lower part of this dress, you can go ahead to blend it out or cut it out. So I'll just blend mine out, and I'll make sure that I will blend this lower part. So after I'm done blending this out, this is what I have. Now the next step I'm going to take is just to go ahead to cut out the cup, just like I explained earlier, and I'll be placing this on another pattern paper. So for this part of this pattern now, you can decide to use any measurement of your choice for the slash and spread. So I don't really have much bust, like my bust area is very small. My bust is 33 inches. So for my slash and spread, I'll be using 2.5. So each pattern I cut out, I'll measure 2.5, and I'll place another one and pin. So this 2.5 is not a standard. You can go ahead to use what is okay for you, and I'll place the other one. I don't want to have too much fabric at the bust area before it will be looking too big for my bust size, right? Now after this, what I'll do is to go ahead to trace out what I have. Now when I'm transferring this to my pattern, I'm going to go ahead to add ½ inch all the way at the upper part and round it. So I'll gather this and I'll join it back to this. So now let's go ahead to draft the back pattern of this dress. For the back pattern, this is my shoulder to bust and my shoulder to waistline, right? I'm using the same waistline as that of the front, and I'm using a zipper for this dress also. So I marked 1.5 inches in front. For your zipper, you can go ahead to use 2 inches also. So after I'm done marking this, I'll go ahead to place my measurement, which is my shoulder divided by 2, come down by 1 inch here, and I'm going to go ahead to place my ruler, and I'll draw out a slanted line connecting to the upper part. So I'm also going to find my chest line, which is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 just like we did for the front. I'll place my ruler and I'm going to draw a straight line. So after I'm done marking this, whatever I have at the shoulder, which is my shoulder divided by 2, go ahead to mark it at the chest line of your pattern, and also place your ruler and draw a straight line connecting to that part, right? So at this chest line of the back, I won't go ahead to mark an armhole curve. I'll leave it that way because the back is straight, right? Now I'm just going to go ahead to mark my dart, which will start at the zipper, and I'll mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2, just like we did for the front pattern. Now I'll place my ruler and draw a straight line. Now after I'm done marking this, I'll mark ½ inch on both sides, come down by 1 inch at the bust, and I'm going to place my ruler to connect this all the way to the upper part, and I'm also going to connect at the other side. So after I'm done marking, I'm going to go ahead to insert my measurement. I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. Then I will add a sewing allowance of 1.5 inches. For the back, I'll just go ahead to mark my waist circumference divided by 4. And I'll go ahead to measure the dart intake I have there, then replace it by the side and also add my sewing allowance. Now after I'm done marking that, I'm going to place my ruler and I'll draw a straight line connect. So when I was recording this part, my phone went off and I didn't know, so I'll be doing an explanation on how I got this. So from my pattern at the side, I came up by ½ inch, just like we did for the front pattern at the armhole. Now I'll be slanting it down, and from this part I came down by ½ inch at the chest line and I slanted it to this point. Now from here I went ahead to cut out the sides of my pattern, which I already marked out, and at this side I took out my zipper bulge by going in by ½ inch and I slanted it all the way to the upper part of my dress. So I'm making use of a zipper for this particular pattern. Now for the lower part of this dress, remember when I started drafting, I said get the full length of your dress. Now the full length of my dress is 36 inches, what I'm making. So I'm going to minus my half length, which is my shoulder to waistline. So I'll minus it from the full length, which is 36. So what I have left is 19 inches. That 19 inches, I'll be cutting out about 3 yards of fabric, which I'll be using to gather it around my waistline. So if the 3 yards does not give me a full effect, I'll be cutting about 4 yards by 19 for the lower part of this dress, which I will gather around the lower part of the dress. So join me in my next video where I will be sewing this dress, and if you have any question, kindly leave it at the comment section.